Here is the first test fit of the J series in this 98 Civic I've got. I've kind of just got it hanging in here to see what, if anything, I need to modify to make it fit. I think it still needs to move over maybe about that far. And it's not exactly level, but it's somewhat close. It's going to be peeking out of the hood a little bit, I think. So this engine mount bracket is going to have to change, I think, because I don't think there's room for a bushing in there. In the back, I think that's going to be easy. I am going to try to run the EK subframe in it. And on this side you can see this is actually going to move over at least another inch, but it can't move over any further. This is, I think, about where the motor needs to be, roughly, front to back. But it can't move over any further because the diff hits the subframe under here. See if I can turn on the light for you. There we go. I can see it. See, the diff hits the subframe down there. So I think what I'm going to do is just take a notch out of the subframe, and I'm not going to spend the money on EG subframe. On this side here you can see that it's pretty far over. It probably needs to come over at least another inch on this side, which will be possible once I cut the subframe up. So I think my plan is I'm going to mark the subframe, pull this back out, and make a notch there. And then I'm going to set it in. I'll make a bracket to bolt to the original holes on this side, and then I'll make a bracket that fits on the transmission on this side. I think what I'm going to do is pick up this bolt. This one is the one that's broken. So I'll pick up this bolt and this bolt, which is just like a 5/16, 8mm. And then there's two bolts on the bottom, so I'll probably have a plate that goes down and picks up some of these bottom bolts. And then I'm not going to weld the case. It doesn't leak, so I'm just going to do it like that. So that's this side. I'm going to 3D print the motor mount bushings, I think. And then in the back, I haven't decided what I'm going to do. Let's see if I can get you down in here so you can see. So I'm going to make a plate that bolts onto these holes here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 holes on the block. And then it's got these 3 holes on the subframe. So I'll make a plate that goes on the subframe, a plate that goes on there, and then I'm going to put a bushing, I think, on this side, and I'll have just brackets that come back to pick up that bushing on this side. Like I said, here's the subframe clearance, or lack thereof. It seems like I'm putting my hand under here, that there's room there to cut that out, so I'm not too worried about that. And then I'll box it in with something. Then this side, I think it's probably going to be similar to what a K-series would use. So I'm going to take this mount off, and it's got 2 bolts, 1 bolt, 2 bolts down below here. So I'll take this off, and then I'll make a plate that goes on top of the frame rail that welds in, and then there'll be a bushing up here that bolts to this, and that should work.